So what's up, y'all? Y'all know who I am. If you don't, this is your boy Witty. What's happening? I just made this video, an impromptu video. I'm up here playing this game on the internet or whatever, War Commander, while my helicopter is blowing up somebody's base right here. I just decided to make this little impromptu video to touch on something that's kind of disturbing to me that I thought need to be addressed. And mainly, it's about these brothers out here who are supposed to be the leaders of the black community and black consciousness and so on and so forth, fighting and bickering among themselves for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be personal or whether it be just for show so they can get subscribers to their little channels, YouTube channels, and so on and so forth. You know, my whole thing is, if you're supposed to be somebody that's supposed to be uplifting the black community and so on and so forth, this little meaningless and unproductive bickering between your parties amongst yourselves, it's unproductive. It serves no purpose. It does nothing but create a already divisive atmosphere amongst black people, and we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? My whole deal is, we're at the point now where we know that people are trying to divide us and trying to do subterfuge to us, and trying to make it so that we think less of what our capabilities are in order just to build a nation or keep our community safe. And what we doing, or what these guys are doing, and some of these ladies too. I'm not going to absorb y'all ladies from none of anything that's going on here. But the whole deal is, it's like, if you got a problem with somebody, you know, and I'm not going to say any names, you know what I'm saying? Because if I start throwing names out and things of that nature, then I'm kind of adding to the situation. So I'm just going to talk in a broad context. But anybody who hears this and knows who they are, they'll know what I'm talking about. Or anybody that follows these people who I'm kind of describing in this narrative, you know, the whole deal is, what it boils down to. And let me turn this TV down a little bit. But you know what it boils down to is that if I got a problem with somebody that's a black leader, an Afro-American leader in the community, you know, I'm not gonna go back and forth on Facebook and YouTube and all this old other nonsense and putting out all this negative venom, and consequently letting some of these agents and some of these white supremacist group who kind of troll these YouTube channels and so on and so forth, and inciting further discord between our peoples or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's been proven. One of the brothers talked about it on their channel the other day, that you got people that act like they're black people, and they white supremacists. They white supremacist group. This is what they sit down and do, and they sow the seeds of divisiveness between us or whatever by trolling these YouTube channels and so on and so forth. So the whole deal is, you know what, man? Just be, if you fellas are gonna say that you are leaders in the black community, then the whole deal is, act like leaders. Don't act like little schoolboy dudes that want to get up here and talk about, he said this and he said that, and trying to jump on each other's interviews, or, you know, making family threats and so on and so forth. That's not productive. Look here, my whole deal is, if I'm a leader in my community and I got a problem with somebody else over here, you know, I'm not gonna sit up here and troll him on YouTube and try to get his shit shut down. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That's kid shit. No, the whole deal is, if I got a problem, just like as any man should do, if you got a problem with another dude, you know what I'm saying? You don't jump on Facebook or YouTube or this, that, and the other That's for these entertainer dudes. That's for these cats who get out here and, you know, they supposed to, they catering to their following, but they don't really have any substance to what they're saying. So the whole deal is, if you're a person of substance, if I got a problem with brother B over here, and brother B got a problem with brother C, and I got a problem with brother B, and so on, and brother C got a problem with brother A, and yada yada yada, then the whole deal is, I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I'm gonna allow outside sources to manipulate and shape the narrative or the argument amongst us. Even if it's, because usually these dudes, it's not even about the ideology, it's about just personal attacks. And if I got something to say to you, I'm not gonna get on YouTube and do all that trolling. You know, your number is easy to find. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call you and be like, "Hey, look here, man. For the sake of our people, if that's what you really about." See, a lot of these cats, they say they about certain stuff, but they really not. But if I'm about a certain thing, if I'm about uplifting our people, then, you know, I'm gonna call you and say, "Hey, look here, man. We need to discuss this and we need to hash this out away from all this publicity and so on and so forth. I can meet you somewhere, or we can have a video conference, or whatever it is. But it don't matter what our ideology is, even if it's different from each other. We have to, or even if we have a personal beef with each other, the point is, you don't let another motherfucker see you sweat. You understand what I'm saying? Even, you know, if you out on the block, you don't let another, you know, if you got a mutual enemy and somebody moving in, you know, you might own this part of the block, this dude might own this part of the block, but the bottom line is, you got some cats coming in from somewhere else. You know, y'all are gonna put your heads together like, who is these dudes? Where they from? What's up? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna pick each other's brains and find out what the situation is. And if y'all got to, you're gonna handle the situation as that's mutually beneficial to both of y'all, and then you go back to whatever arrangements you got going on, if you have balance. You know what I'm saying? Everybody eating over here, everybody eating over there. And I'm not even using that in terms of anything illegal or anything detrimental to the black community, but the bottom line is, we just have to do better. And as black people in the community, we need to demand that the folks who are supposedly supposed to be these black leaders or whatever, we got to demand that they do better. When we see them on YouTube acting a clown and saying things that are negative towards each other and slinging mud, you can't be, we're not in a position, white people can do that because they own the country. This is their country. So you can get somebody, you can get MSNBC or in Fox News to go at it, or Fox News go at MSNBC or CNN or some of these, you know, all these other outlets. But the bottom line is, they're all owned by white people. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole deal is, it ain't about, we don't own nothing. So we need to be on the same token. Now, mind you, and I always thought this, Africa has the largest genetic diversity of any continent on the planet. Black folks generally in the United States, we're descendant of those people. You understand what I'm saying? Actually, all people on the planet are descendants of Africans. But, you know, you got some of these folks with that gene, that other gene, you know what I'm saying? And that makes them behave in such a manner. But the bottom line is, we as Afro-American people have to realize that we're as genetically diverse as a lot of those brothers and sisters over there in Africa or whatever, as far as our ideology. You know, we all come from different parts of Africa, intermingled and so on and so forth amongst each other, going back to the slave trade. So the whole deal is, we're not going to have the same ideology. White people can have the same ideology because they come from a smaller subgroup of human people or whatever. If you look at white people, most of them only come from a handful of other people. You understand what I'm saying? So the whole deal is, we're not going to have ideas exactly the same. We don't have to, but we do have a common issue, and that's white racism and white supremacy in America. And that's something that has to be addressed. So if you're a black leader and you call yourself a leader of the community, then act like a leader of the community. Lead these men and women in the right way. You can't expect people to follow you and do the right thing and tell people we need to do this as far as in the black community, and we're doing detrimental things in public, shaming ourselves in front of these people. It's not going to work. You understand what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, peace to all my brothers and sisters out there. And, that's the crux of what the situation is. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but it's very disconcerting right now to see a lot of these cats that, are supposed to be community leaders, and they doing stuff other than what they supposed to be doing. And that's mainly bickering in front of each other on YouTube and these other, Instagrams and all this. Cut it out, y'all. Cut it out. We got bigger fish to fry. If you got a problem with a brother, don't put that out there, man, so it could be manipulated. That's the same thing they did to the Nation of Islam to try to drive a wedge between those brothers. Ultimately got somebody killed. They got numerous people killed. They drove a wedge between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Even if they didn't have ideologies the same, I think at some point they came to the conclusion that, look here, hey, you know what? I'm going to let him do him. I'm going to let him do him. And Malcolm said, hey, look, before he died, he realized the folly and what he was doing as far as calling out other Afro-American leaders. And he said, he was like, anything that I said to offend you or anything that I've said to put us at bad terms or whatever and put us at odds, I accept my apology. You know what I'm saying? But we got bigger fish to fry. And that's what we have now, even more so, even since that time or whatever, because it's blatant now. They don't care nothing about shooting us in the back. They're not even trying to hide it now. You know what I'm saying? So the whole deal is, hey, look, to my brothers and sisters, if you're gonna be a leader, if you're gonna be a real leader and not just somebody out here talking about all that, put your personal bickering and your personal and grievances to the side, or at least don't air them out in public. Like I said, if you got a problem with such and such, you call such and such, get such and such on the phone and resolve that. But if you're gonna put this talk about, yeah, I'm for the black people, yada yada yada, and then you calling this dude a coon, or you calling them crispy, or you calling them whatever, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. That's something they're expecting us to do. That's why we're in the condition we are right now. So let's get our heads together and realize, yeah, anything that we do is going to be scrutinized, and and watch out for them agents. That's not just for the community leaders. That's for the people who follow and subscribe to these brothers that get on here and sisters that get on here and say things for the black community. Keep our eye on these agents, because they disguise themselves well, very well. And people who have negative things, it's a certain way to disagree with people, but when people are trying to stir the pot and instigate stuff, and when they trying to do that, chances are they ain't from your people. Anyway, with that being said, I got to get back to this game because I'm in freeze mode right now. So peace to my brothers and sisters, in the struggle. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Witty, I'm out.